You will see as to how to identify the terminals of a single-phase alternator. Open the cover of the terminal box carefully, taking care not to damage the gasket. You knew that there will be 4 terminals in a single-phase alternator. Assume that the terminal indications are not available. Give arbitrary numbers against the terminals in the terminal box as shown. You knew that there will be 2 terminals for the armature winding, and there will be 2 terminals for the field winding. You also knew that there will be continuity between the 2 terminals of the armature winding, and that there will be continuity between the 2 terminals of the field winding. You also knew that there will be no continuity between the 2 terminals of the armature winding and the 2 terminals of the field winding. Using the multimeter in the resistance range, check the continuity between the terminal 1 and the other terminals 2, 3, and 4. Assume that there is continuity between the 2 terminals 1 and 3. You confirm that there is also continuity between the terminal 2 and terminal 4. You confirm that there is no continuity between the terminal 1 and terminal 2 and terminals 1 and 4. You will now be clear that 1 and 3 constitute one winding, and 2 and 4 is another winding. You have to identify now as to which is the armature winding and which is the field winding. You knew from theory that the armature winding has always less resistance value than the resistance value of the field winding. Measure the resistance of the individual windings using a multimeter. Assume that the resistance value between terminals 1 and 3 gives 0.2 ohm, and that between terminals 2 and 4 gives 2 ohms. You can say that the terminals 1 and 3 belong to armature winding, and terminals 2 and 4 belong to field winding. Now, mark the terminal 1 as A sub 1 with paint, and the terminal 3 as A sub 2. Similarly, mark the machine terminal 2 as F sub 1 with paint, and terminal 4 as F sub 2. You have successfully identified the terminals of a single-phase alternator.